And welcome back to Mag Sam's Let's Play Koudelka. I'm RM2K Midi, and with me, as always, is Deathtron Hammer.
Greetings all on this snowy night.
Yes, one of our few snowy nights of the year.
Yeah, it's surprising. It's like late January. And yeah, we have snow.
For the first time all winter.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't recall why I stepped out in this courtyard in my last save. We don't need to be out here.
Mysteries, mysteries.
What we do need to do is read something.
Oh no. No. How long is this going to be?
Oh, it's okay.
You found a gramophone, but it can't be played as there's no disc inside. Do you want to put that disc in the gramophone?
Yes. That doesn't look like a gramophone disc. And that doesn't look like a gramophone. It looks like a music box.
Is it broken?
Research notes. Now...
Crap, we're in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's a beautiful day.
I recommend not reading the notes in here. That's about a 15-second music loop. Like I was saying, this music loop is...
15 seconds and becomes annoying quickly.
Yes. So we'll step out into this lovely hallway.
That's silent, like my soul.
Read the research notes.
Research notes. September 10th, 1895. Rain. With the monastery renovation completed, I have finally moved in with Ogden and Bessie. It's been a long road since I first procured the emigre file. Even after referencing literature of all ages, the rendering of the text still remains a difficult task. Though it's been 4 years since I first laid eyes on it, never once has its enigma left the recesses of my mind. Contained in it are countless descriptions of the source of the energy that is the secret to life's existence. The Druids' cryptic experiment taken from the ancient Celts and recorded by Alexander the Great hundreds of years before Christ. Branded a forbidden enterprise, it was kept hidden by the Vatican's cardinals in the depths of the Pope's quarters for a very long time. And now I have it in my hands. I have reached Wales, the land referred to in the text. I will fulfill my wife's Elaine's resurrection at this monastery, built by Saint Daniel Scotus. Of course, I'm aware that my act could prove insolent in the eyes of the Lord, and however people may censure my actions, the love I have for my wife will never cease. I ask of you, Lord, to turn your eyes away for a short while. November 16th, 1895. Rain. The more I learn about this monastery, the more eerie the structure appears to me. Ogden mentioned that the hospice had been full of corpses at one time a few hundred years ago, and I have become aware of an oppressing sense of mortal sin as I walk through the underground passageways. I can feel haunting spirits everywhere. But according to the emigre file, the power of such resentful spirits are considered the driving force behind reviving the Druids' cryptic experiment. I plan to fill this place with the all-consuming ire of these spirits. Even though I may burn in hell for these sins, if Elaine can be brought back to life, I shall have no regrets. December 5th, 1895. Rain. I found out that the cauldron hidden in the basement held the key to the secret. Even though the book had mentioned it, the well-positioned trick door kept us from locating its whereabouts. The cauldron looks as if it's made of gold. But upon closer examination, the surface is so old that one cannot determine how long it has been in existence. I would guess that it is a prehistoric artifact made a few thousand, maybe even tens of thousands of years ago and left to sit. We must quickly set upon an altar and begin preparations for our ceremony. December 16th, 1895. Rain. I ordered Ogden to acquire some livestock. 320 chickens and 43 pigs were purchased through a supplier in town. I arranged for ground transportation, but the fog did not expedite the undertaking. I expect to be busy as soon as the delivery arrives. Animal offerings are an integral part of the Druid experiment. The cauldron must be filled with the freshest blood and flesh. This is where it begins. February 24th, 1896. Rain. The third experiment. Still no response. Even though I follow directions and offer the proper prayers, there are no signs of the spirits gaining any strength. I must return to the book and reread some parts, since I cannot proceed if there has been some misunderstanding of the text. Is there some problem with the way I conducted the experiments, or the offerings insufficient? Regardless, I need to think this over. Even though I may arrive at a terrifying realization, it is too late to fear anything now. I have come too far to be impeded by fear. I am sure Ogden will understand. March 19th, 1896. Rain. Return from London. The specially ordered carriage seems to be working very well. I have trapped 3 women in the baskets and back. I lured some victims out of an alley in the East End, had them sniff some chemicals and pulled them into the carriage, but since I was not used to my new role as an abductor, it took more time than I had planned. I could not have done this without Ogden's help. I am deeply grateful to him. March 25th, 1896. Rain. I am still at a loss. I cannot make up my mind. Even when I bring Elaine back to life, are my actions forgivable? I balk when presented with this dilemma. Bessie had taken care of the women and I've kidnapped. It's better than them freezing in some corner of London. I hope the small gesture of kindness will be considered as a prairie act of repentance. I wonder if my small kindness will have any significance when held up to the horrendous act I am about to commit. March 31st, 1896. Rain. I must make up my mind. I must. April 3rd, 1896. Storm. Dear Lord, I have without a doubt committed a crime no human should have committed. I conducted the Druid experiment using the flesh and blood of the victims. I sensed the incredible energy of the spirits culminate into one when I poured the woman's remains in the cauldron. As I had thought before, it is human flesh that needs to be offered up fully to release the effects of the procedures. What a frightening, arcane process this is. The sounds of fury in the women's death screams have not left my ears, but I must go on. There is no turning back now. April 12th, 1896. Rain. Once again, I performed the procedures. I once again round up 4 victims from London. Even though they're all old with barely a thing to live for, when I contemplate taking their lives, it leaves me sick to my stomach. It may be due to the doubts that the spirits do not rise such a powerful strength as before. I may have to use a younger, more vibrant source of energy. The book says to fill the cauldron with energy of haunted spirits. I wonder how many victims the cauldron must swallow to be satisfied. June 5th, 1896. Rain. I do not have enough victims. The saintly presence of Daniel Scotus inhibits us from claiming authoritative power. I have concluded that it will be necessary for us to offer many more lives before we are finished here. I have since found 35 more victims for seven separate experiments, but the spirits have not responded with much strength. For me to accomplish the resurrection, I am in dire need of the culminated strength of the spirits. I must come up with a way. I must come up with a more efficient way to procure my victims. July 15th, 1896. Rain. I finally received the first shipment of my victims. Ogden was right when he suggested that we should offer the lord of the slave trade an enormous amount of money for this matter. He has no compassion for human life. The victims are not given much information and arrive at the monastery expecting a routine night work. It is not necessary for us to go hunting for prey in town. With a few sugar-coated lies, there are plenty of people that climb right into the carriage. There is no one that will dare speak of what is to become of them. September 9th, 1896. Rain. Poured the remains into the cauldron. The energy levels in the cauldron have clearly increased, which makes me happy, since it proves I am heading in the right direction. It seems that lately I have become more efficient at performing the tasks required for the procedures. However, Ogden and I cannot expect to become much more productive, as it is impossible for us to hire help, since we must keep this matter purely clandestine. I have decided to place an order for a laboratory table from an equipment manufacturer in Manchester. It will take about a month to make, but once we receive this, we will be able to manage many more experiments. October 3rd, 1896. Rain. Butchered 3 bodies since morning. After lunch, we made repairs to the bell tower of the main church. After dinner with Bessie and Ogden, I butchered 3 more bodies. The lab table has proven its worth. The spirits have certainly increased in strength. At this rate, I may finish preparing for Elaine's resurrection before All Saints' Day. Fucking man-dragon. October 14th, 1896. Rain. 6 bodies butchered in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, 1 after dinner. November 1st, 1896. Rain. How I've been awaiting this day. The day to conduct Elaine's resurrection ceremony has finally arrived. The cauldron is brimming with the remains of my victims. This monastery is now consumed by the energies of the preternatural spirits. Even a saint could not hold this ground against the powerful energies of these hex spirits. I took Elaine's body, which has been preserved in chemicals for this very day, and placed it on the altar. I then began reciting the ceremonial chant. Elaine, you are still as beautiful as ever. I love you so much. Please forgive me for calling you back from the land of the dead. November 7th, 1896. Rain. What is going on? I have lost all hope. All my efforts and dreams have been only an illusion. The tree of life that grows upwards out of the corpse, as if wrapping Elaine's body, was certainly the manifestation of the druid's cryptic experiments that I had been seeking. If God is capable of creating beings out of nothingness, then this indeed is a man-made example of his work. But to my horror, the image of my resurrected wife displayed in a flower petal looked just as she did before, yet it lacked a human soul. Indeed, it was a monster. Dear God, is this the punishment you have chosen for me? What have I accomplished by victimizing nearly 200 innocent people? My only hope in life lay in believing that resurrection was possible and dreaming of the day when my wife Elaine would join me here in life on earth once again. Now I have nothing but a cauldron full of blood and hex spirits, and a soulless monster. Is this the end that has been awaiting me? Dear Lord, have you no mercy? I only have one path left to follow. I have lost too much. I can't even find the words to apologize to Ogden, who has lent me his strength along the way. Now I only long to sleep in peace with my wife.
Damn.
Phew. That was intense. But at least we gained some perspective of what happened here.
Yeah. It explains a lot. He purposely got all the spirits around here pissed off.
And defiled this place. Something's not right. This whole place isn't right, especially after that.
Is there anything in this place that is right? I ask you that. Is there any place here that's right?
Air pipe. I smoke with this.
Heart OC and Mbop. The pistol. Let's go for the shotgun.
Boomstick.
Make sure it's nice and loaded.
Just like me?
Yes. Okay, we're good to go. Bring it.
Alright, come on. After reading that, I'm not scared of anything. But oh God!
Look at that. It's just writhing around. Legs going everywhere. Kill it. Kill it dead.
Why? I have no words. I really don't.
Let's just burn it.
Fire's good. Fire's always good. Fire lights the night and keeps you warm.
I think it's funny how the strategy guides always talk to these bosses as being a huge pain in the ass, and they're so hard. Be careful. Get your guys in the back row. You might get hit with some attack. My guys just take it like it's nothing and then dish it back tenfold.
Well, because you and I follow the philosophy of never run, never hide.
Exactly. You can't skip random battles. They'll be your undoing.
But yeah, I wonder how this thing and its biology would possibly function at all in nature. Or in the supernatural. I know it's an abomination, but I mean, I like to think some of the things we fought before had a kind of biology I can understand. It has a head. It I assume, has some kind of digestive function.
Exactly.
I don't see a head. I just see limbs.
It's like a tree of limbs. Dead. See, it's like...
Seriously, whatever you are, rest in peace, okay? Just, yeah. Good night. Jeez.
I've noticed I've been slacking off on mind, which is pretty much your magic accuracy. You don't want things to get unbalanced. It has dexterity up, which is the physical accuracy.
So this round was just boosting the lesser stats?
Yes. I've been told... I just got that ability Reflect. I've been told that you want to level that up. I don't know why. Maybe something to do with the final boss. Maybe I won't need to.
Who knows?
Or cares.
All I know is that after the grinding you did against the Mandragon, we're looking pretty solid.
I know. Let's leave that alone. These memory cards were so slow.
Primitive.
Anyway.
So this is Elaine?
Yes. She's the one I had the psychic vision of. Do you doubt it?
No, indeed.
Good. Let's begin.
It has been a long time indeed, Mr. O'Flaherty.
Oh, Elaine, is that really you?
Yes, it is. It is such a pity that we meet again, and I can only present myself to you in this form. This is the woman that responded to my voice, is it not? Thank you for doing this for someone like myself.
Elaine, I haven't yet come to terms. Please tell me how this happened to you.
Of course I will explain. James, 18 years ago, I was murdered by some thieves that broke into my home. I was helpless. Both Patrick and Ogden were out on business. There was nothing that anyone could do.
I will not accept this. This should not have happened.
Yes, Patrick responded the same exact way. He could not accept my death. He spent years and years perfecting his craft in wizardry and tried everything in his power to bring me back to life.
Resurrecting the dead? Is this for real? Hey, we're not talking about Frankenstein here.
Frankenstein?
That novel written about 100 years ago?
He was taking it very seriously. And he had found the key to actually make it happen.
The immigrant document.
Yes. With Ogden's assistance and the powers from ancient druids, he held a resurrection ceremony in this monastery.
But something went wrong, didn't it?
He only resurrected my physical body. As you can see, my soul is still doomed to roaming the universe, forever separated from my body. And the terrifying thing is that my body was resurrected as a heartless monster.
Monster.
Although the monster may look like me, it is not me. Mr. O'Flaherty, please turn my body into ashes with your power.
Ashes? But if I do that, we won't be able to bring you back to life.
Mr. O'Flaherty, I was robbed of my life by those thieves, and I could hate them as mortal enemies. Choose to think that my death was preordained by the Lord. Please, do not mourn my death. It was wrong for Patrick to try to resurrect me, to undo the work of God. Please, do not be sad. Death is at the heart of God's reasoning. I urge you to destroy my body. Its existence defies the wise providence of heaven. It mustn't exist in this world.
Wait! Elaine! God! Curse! What a cruel world! I gave everything for your happiness, and now what have I left with? I have no meaning in my life. Damn it! What have I been doing with my life? Elaine! Elaine!
The only upside I can see from this scene is we now have a mission, a goal after 3 discs of wandering, meandering, and trying to figure out what happened here and what's going on. We now have a purpose. We must destroy an abomination.
Gotta go up these Resident Evil style stairs.
Classy.
It always freaks me out when these things are lit.
You see a scroll with a picture of a dragon. Hestia.
Means hearth in Greek.
There's a fire burning in the hearth.
I hate these camera angles. The random battles are behaving themselves this time. More or less. The flea. Shotgun shells.
Good thing, you know, they make good mouse traps, I guess. The only way I can explain them being left everywhere.
Exactly. Empty bottle. Sulfuric acid.
Fun.
Oh, lovely. I was hoping that wouldn't happen right now.
But it did. What are you going to do about it?
Throw some of my useless weapons away. Not using that. They back you out of the menu every time you discard something. Isn't that great?
It's so convenient and streamlined.
That's good enough. Anyway, we'll have more to do in this room. But for now, I'm going to go down and fill this bottle. So I'll see you in just a minute. And welcome back. We have arrived at the acid tank. It actually isn't that far of a walk, but it'd just be a waste of time to make you see it all.
Yeah.
It's a tank filled with acid.
Acid tank.
You want to take acid from the tank? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, time to go on a trip, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
You got a bottle of acid.
Do you think it's sulfuric acid in there?
It's sulfuric acid.
Because I know the bottle says that, but who knows it's a different type of acid. You know, I was just thinking about it during that random battle, and I thought I'd share it with you guys in Arm 2. It just hit me. That makes sense as to why Bessie's and Ogden's distrust of people coming in the cathedral here. The monastery that, oh, you're a bandit. Well, let's see what a bandit's done to mess with our lives lately. Oh yeah, kill Elaine and kickstart this chain of events that led to this. Fuck you.
Exactly. So I just got a new sword in that last battle. It's called the Galahad sword.
Is there a story behind it?
I should look. There are some items you can get that are like, there's some story behind.
I'm pretty sure I'd imagine the sword of Galahad. A copy of the sword used by Sir Galahad of the Round Table. It has not survived the years well, becoming so brittle and weak that the blade has snapped.
So I'm beating them with a broken sword.
Classy. Generic name for swords with a long, thin blade. Intended more for thrusting than slashing, they are not very powerful and were designed to slip between the cracks of an enemy's armor.
Anyway, as I was trying to say before that random battle, I'm showing you this so you can know how to get here. Because I sure didn't know how to get back here after I went all the way around. It was a long, long walk.
Mind-numbing.
Yes. Lots of random battles. Oh, there's my pile of corpses.
It's of corpses.
And we're back here. It's like, his house is, around the other side of the wall of his living quarters is a pile of corpses. Like some death camp.
Well, you gotta love that disparity he has. Even it was demonstrated in his journal as well.
Yeah. He's done all his renovations on this to make it look nice, so you can live here.
Up, up, and away!
So we've given that old fart some time to read through his books and think of a good answer for us.
You better have a good answer. It looks like Roger is still engaged in his research.
I know it's here. I saw it here. I put it here. What? Have you come round to see me again?
I want you to look at this.
Research journals.
I want you to tell us whether what's written there can actually happen or not.
Well, let me see. Yes, I see. Oh, that's right. Resurrecting the dead. Ooh, a cauldron. The Branwyn tales, indeed. Yes. It is most likely that the events detailed here did take place.
Just as I thought. But that's so frightening that
Personally, I have not attempted it. I am certain that the Immigrant document contained accounts of secret rituals conducted to resurrect the dead. But as you can tell from reading this, it involves complicated preparatory work. I had given up discerning the impossibility of using the psychic powers necessary to create such an immense psychic platform. Moreover, I never expected that people would attempt to challenge such a feat.
The journals say that the physical body was resurrected, but not the soul.
Absolutely. The ancients held the secret to life in the palm of their hands. But they could never come close to touching the secrets of the soul. They resurrected the dead in order to use their physical bodies as a workforce, thus building the great civilization we oft-times speak of. In fact, we would not be far off if we called them puppeteers. Exploiting the human body as an object.
If so, then wouldn't
Yes, resurrecting the dead and restoring them to life as it was before death is impossible.
Then how do you return the resurrected body once again to Earth?
That is a very complicated question, since it already defies universal logic.
Please.
It is no easy task.
Tell me how. It's what Elaine, God rest her soul, wanted.
Right. It is not absolutely impossible, but I would need to call forth the sacred powers in order to complete such a feat. Oh, yes. I know that the arm of Daniel Scotius, the man who built this monastery, is stored in a stone statue on the ground. If we throw that into a cauldron, we will successfully destroy the roots of the tree of life. Oh, after that, I haven't a clue whether to call forth the energies of fire or entrust the task to water. Oh, it is so complicated.
Fire or water?
What are we going to do?
Oh, Heavenly Father, bless our souls and bring forth an end to this suffering. Oh.
If it bleeds, it dies.
And that's all we have for you this time. So join us next time on Mag Sam's Let's Play Koudelka.
Have a wonderful night.
Stay beautiful.